Greetings, this is Paul Jensen. I'm now going to present Chapter 5, which is the Service and Maintenance Basics of UVC Luminaires. So what major types of maintenance are there? There's preventive maintenance, condition-based maintenance, predictive maintenance, predetermined maintenance, and catastrophic maintenance. And let's talk about these for a moment. Preventive maintenance, that's catching and fixing problems before failure. Regular inspections, manufacturers may suggest a certain number of times per year. Based on your facilities people may have a certain regime or schedule for regular inspections. Condition-based maintenance is sometimes considered to be a more advanced alternative to preventive maintenance. Systems observe for changes that could indicate upcoming failure, so that as something starts to fail, it's identified and then it's taken care of. Predictive maintenance is a specific type of condition-based maintenance. Systems are constantly observed with various IoT or sensor devices. Software interprets the sensor data and warns maintenance technicians of approaching failure. It could be they're identifying a reduction in output of a UVC luminaire. It could be a temperature-related issue. There are many different issues that can be used and monitored and, in essence, predicting when maintenance should be performed. Predetermined maintenance is carried out using rules and suggestions created by the original manufacturer. Manufacturer provides statistics and guidelines, or at least provides guidance based on statistics and guidelines of when maintenance should be performed. Catastrophic maintenance is sort of an oops. Catastrophic and maintenance are sort of oxymorons. The goal is to avoid failure and hence avoid catastrophic maintenance requirements. So where do we start? First, we need to review the manufacturer's maintenance manual or manuals. Ensure that you have the following for tasks at hand: appropriate tools, cleaning supplies as recommended by the manufacturer, components and/or accessories that are needed for replacement, and a calibrated radiometer, and that's calibrated for the wavelength of the units for testing. We talked about 254 nanometer UVC luminaires. We've talked about 222. We've talked about LEDs. It could be 260, 265 range. So we want to make sure that when we're taking a measurement to verify what's coming out of the fixture and to verify that it's safe in the occupied space, we want that radiometer calibrated to the specific wavelength, which is the output of the fixture. Second slide for where do we start is we take a look at the luminaires. We verify that they're assembled correctly. Maybe they were installed and never correctly assembled. The louvers weren't installed right. Perhaps the unit was mounted to the ceiling but not pointed down. So there are many different things. So that's part of making sure it's assembled correctly, installed correctly, and making sure that they're operational. Is there juice or electricity to them? Do they have lights showing that it's actually operating? And then we want to review the previous maintenance record so we know what's been done in the past. If the manufacturer recommends changing out the UVC lamp or a certain component after a certain period of time, your maintenance records should be able to show you when that component was last changed. So I talked about taking a look at fixtures to make sure they're assembled correctly. Is the reflector actually fixed in their proper place? Are the lamp ends actually properly located in the lamp itself, with it, in this case, be a twin pin. Was the lamp actually rotated, or is it just sitting in that slot and not firing or putting out UVC? Before commencing maintenance, take a reference or a witness point measurement. Pick a spot on the wall that you can check every time. Take a measurement. And again, this is much easier than using a pole where you might have some movement. You might not be in the exact same spot every time. So pick a spot on a wall, maybe opposite the fixture, or a column near the fixture, just anything that's not movable. And before you do the maintenance, you'll record that value. After you do the maintenance, you'll record that value. And hopefully that value was recorded when the unit was put in. So you can see, okay, yes, I've lost 20% since the installation. After cleaning, it's only down 10%. So your cleaning was correct. So initial steps, was the reading less than or equal to 70% of the initial value? If yes, then we need to investigate. So here's a upper room UVC fixture. It's 254. It's a semi-open fixture. It's very high ceiling. The output was about 50% of the original output. So as I said, this unit was installed a year ago. The witness point at the time of installation showed an irradiance level of 20 microwatts per square centimeter. Today's UVC measurement was 10 microwatts per square centimeter. Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, let's investigate, please. Well, here's the fixture. I've got glasses, I've got a shield to protect myself, but I wanted to just take a quick look inside, and I held my camera up to take this picture. And what do you see? What do you see on the reflector? What do you see in the lamps? What do you see in the actual unit itself? Do you think this fixture was ever cleaned? This is really why there's a lot of loss. And then after the proper cleaning, which it probably took them about an hour to get this clean, because the bug residuals were so dried on. It was very difficult to clean the reflector and to clean the lamp. Afterwards, they were able to get up to about 14 or 15 microwatts per square centimeter. So it's still a significant drop, and the lamp should be changed. But this is why you take a witness point after installation and whenever you do your periodic maintenance. So initial action steps: was the reading less than or equal to 70% of the initial value? If yes, investigate. Clean and remeasure. If the remeasured value is still less than 70% of the initial value, consider changing the UVC lamp. If remeasured value is between 70 and 80 of the previous value, shortening the maintenance cycle might be necessary. And in this case, you saw all the bugs. This fixture, or these fixtures in this particular hospital, just attracted all kinds of bugs. Now, when we talk about maintenance and cleaning, what does clean mean? And it really depends. We need to follow the manufacturer's instructions. For upper room UVC luminaires, which are basically the 254 luminaires, you need to brush and or vacuum the baffles and louvers. You need to clean the reflectors and lamps with 70% or greater alcohol by volume, and use a lint-free cloth. Nothing that would leave residual on the lamp itself, which means you would not use any kind of surfactant. So here's somebody vacuuming out the louvers of a fixture. You can see at the top here is a reflector in the lamp itself. Here's somebody, this is a different type of fixture. This has a UV lamp on top that shines up, and it has a UV lamp on the bottom that irradiates the whole room. So when the lower lamp is on, it's not safe to be in the room. But this was an autoclave room. The unit was installed 3 years ago, and there were no maintenance records that we could find or that the workers could find on that unit. So we took measurements at 1 meter increments straight out from the fixture, looking for the maximum value. So we did it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 meters. So our witness point before cleaning at 1 meter shows that we had a reading of 30 microwatts per square centimeter. And that's relatively low, being that close to a fixture. So we knew for sure, it wasn't emitting much. And it could be the fixture design is not efficient, or it could be that the lamp reflectors were very dirty, or a combination of both. So it became very obvious they needed to clean the fixture. So remember this 30 watts per square centimeter. After cleaning, it went down. It went down to 10 microwatts per square centimeter at that witness point. And why? Why did that happen? Well, most likely it's the cleaning process. But unless you have a meter and can show the workers why it's important to follow proper protocols, something like this will happen. The person was actually just using a detergent in water with a cotton rag. So when she was cleaning that lamp, what was happening? She was putting a surfactant or a coating on the UVC lamp. She was spreading out whatever settled on top onto the entire lamp. And the bottom line was that the UV went down. So now what? We talked about the proper methodology for cleaning, and it went from 30 down to 10, but then up to 100. So the output went up over threefold just by cleaning the unit properly. Now, 100 was about the level in which they needed to change lamps. So this lamp, even though officially it had a lamp life of 9,000 hours, it wasn't used 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So after 3 years chronologically of time, it became time to replace that lamp. But this is why it's strictly important to be able to take a witness point measurement before and after doing any maintenance. So, woo! So let's go back to what does clean mean? Well, again, it depends. We need to follow manufacturer's instructions. We talked about upper room UVC luminaires, but let's talk about a whole room UVC luminaires. And here we're talking mainly the 222 excimer lamps, and they're kind of unique because following manufacturer's instructions, they may or may not have louvers. They may have surfaces that you can clean, and most likely you'll not be able to, clean the actual lamps themselves. But again, the idea is take a look at manufacturer's instructions and do what they suggest. Now, when do I change UVC lamps? Well, again, it's per manufacturer's instructions or recommendations. It may be chronological hours, may be operational or arced hours, or a combination of the two. In some cases, you can directly change out the lamp. In some cases, you may need to return the entire unit to the manufacturer. And this is what's happening with some of the LED and some of the excimer or 222 nanometer fixtures, or you may have to change out an entire module. So it may be the LEDs in the control block. It may be the excimer lamps and the circuit board that goes along with it. In any case, if you measure a reduction of greater than 30% from the initial irradiance measurement, there's time to definitely do something. And that something, again, may be cleaning the surface of the lamp. It may be just replacing it. So what other maintenance is needed? Well, depending on the environment, you may need to verify electrical connections. You may need to verify grounding. There may be occupancy detectors on the fixture, and you want to make sure that they are working properly. There may be UVC detectors in the unit or part of their IoT system, and you want to make sure that they are working properly. So if you turn the lamp off, does that detector sense that the UV is off? Based on your witness point, let's say you're at 60%. So it's well below the 70% that we're generally used for changing out a UVC lamp. What do you do? Well, if the UVC detector in the unit did not identify that as an issue, then that detector obviously failed. And in addition to replacing the lamp or sending it out for a new lamp, we need to take a look at the detector itself within the fixture and have that either repaired or the software reset. And there are some fixtures in which the home company or the manufacturer can dial in and through the internet take a look at what's going on with the fixture itself. So to summarize this topic, it's critical to have attention to detail. And service and maintenance is performed to prevent failure. It's not done when there is failure. So we don't plan catastrophic maintenance. We plan to never, if possible, have catastrophic maintenance requirements. That we prevent failure. So again, I thank you. I thank all the companies that have provided equipment that you've used on your hands-on exercises. And if you have questions about certification from NOWCO, please feel free to contact Eric Ennen. He's head of the group that's sponsoring the certification for germicidal UVC technicians and management professionals. So on that note, I thank you very much.